You're listening to the Chopped Podcast, episode number 85. Hey everyone, it's Friday, so you know what that means.
It's FriChat time.
Okay, so I'm Marly with the blog Namely Marly, and
I'm Cara with the blog Fork and Beans.
hey Cara, how are you?
What's up, Marly? I'm good. How are you?
It's Friday, so we have to be good, right?
Thank God. Yes.
TGIF.
Yes.
So-
I'm just.
Oh,
Sorry.
wait, go ahead. No,
No,
you
go-
go ahead.
I was just. I got nothing. Go.
Okay. Okay, so I was just going to tell you I have some bad news.
What's going on?
I quit blogging.
What? What
I
do you
did.
mean?
I did. I quit. I was like so sick of it and sick of every little part of it. So I just quit.
Marly, you need to talk more about this.
Okay. Well, I'll be completely honest. And that is like, I actually did really, really quit. I mean, it was like a combination of things, like, you know, maybe one too many negative comments on something, and and then photos didn't turn out the way I wanted, or like how all that stuff builds up, and you have this moment, and you're just like,
Yes.
I am so sick of this.
Yeah, I think that was my day yesterday. Yeah.
So I quit, and you know what I did is this was on a Friday, and on Saturday I made myself not let I basically said you cannot think about blogging all day long.
Oh, so you're not saying that you walked away from Namely Marly.
Yeah.
You're just saying you quit for the weekend.
I
You
quit.
sneaky little girl, you.
I know. I like being sneaky, but I did quit for the weekend. However, I gave myself permission to let this be a forever thing, or a week thing, or a month thing. I didn't know how long it was going to be, but I knew for sure on Saturday that I could not think about blogging. And I want to tell you something, Cara. I couldn't believe how much I had to tell myself to stop it, because
Yes.
food blogging is like a tape running in the background. It's like, feels like constantly I'm thinking about a recipe I could do, or as I'm cooking, I'm writing instructions on how I could tell other people how to cook it. It's crazy.
Yes. No, it's very understandable that it kind of takes over your entire life.
Yes.
And because there's always something to do too.
Yes.
Even if it's not recipe creation, it's design stuff or back end stuff.
Or social media stuff.
Yeah, social media. Oh God, don't even get me started on social media. Yes. It's just it kind of takes over control of your life.
Yes.
I'm
it's
happy
so
you
true.
quit.
Thanks. And so then on Sunday, did you say how did you quit, or did you say I'm
No, I'm
happy?
happy, but I'd like
Yeah.
to know how too. So we'll get to that in a second.
Yes. Well, Saturday was hard. All day long, I had to keep reminding myself, nope, you're not going to talk about this, in my head. On Sunday, though, it got easier. And do you know what happened? A miraculous thing. I wish I could have like choir. I need the sound of choir, like,
Hallelujah.
Yes, yes, exactly. That I actually got bored.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
Was that a good thing?
It was a good thing. It felt luxurious to feel kind of slightly like I had an hour on my time on my hands, and I didn't have anything to do with it, and it felt amazing.
That's a really fascinating point, because I think a lot of times for me, when I do feel bored, I will work.
Yes.
And what I don't realize, though, is that if this were any other job, I'd probably be, I mean, I
Right.
definitely wouldn't be going to work when I was bored. I'd be happy that I was bored and not at work. But like, it would be very obvious to me that I was overexerting myself in this.
Right.
But in food blogging, you don't. I don't know. It's weird. It's an obsession. You can't stop.
It is. It does start to feel like an obsession. And when I worked at my job, I would have a commute. It would be like, this is the end of the day. There's a commute home. And then I mean, I'm not saying I never checked my emails or things like that, but for the most part, I was home when I got home. And so I don't feel like I get that break with food blogging.
I agree. I really agree. Okay, so before you quit, what was your schedule like? Would you work all throughout the weekend?
I do. Oh, yeah. I mean, because on the weekends is when we oftentimes would be shooting. Um, we would, I would probably get on and do some social media scheduling or, yeah, constantly thinking about things I need to do for work. And as a result, too, it's like my house looks, starts to, not look so great. And, I could sit there and justify to myself, like, it's okay because I am doing important things. My house is not my priority. However, I do feel like I feel better when I walk into my office and it doesn't look like crap,
Yes. Yeah. No, I feel like I can, yeah, I work and function much better when it's organized. Things are
Right.
organized. Yes, absolutely.
And what about when it's actually even pretty too? Like, what if I took a few minutes to, I don't know, put a picture on the
Gussy it
wall
up.
or, yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Gussy it up. I like that.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
going back to like my 1900s speak.
Yeah. But I don't know, like I took some time to do things like that. I also have a couple of projects around the house that I would like to do. I mean, for example, I have this old chair in the backyard that I've been wanting to paint for a long time. And I love those kinds of projects, physical projects.
So what you're saying is work less and enjoy life more?
I know it's rocket science, right?
That's it seems like a no-brainer, duh, but at the same time, it is a foreign concept.
Yes.
It's, I don't know, like social media really sucks the life out of me at times. And I feel like I dictate my life, or my life is dictated by what social media does. And so it's like, and that's all a part of the blogging, right? But at the
Right.
same time, I don't know, lately for me, I've just been feeling like it's very futile. And for what? I mean, what's my end game here? Why am I trying to constantly tap dance for people at all times
Yeah.
when I'm tired? I'm really tired. And I haven't taken time to enjoy my own life. This is very inspiring, actually. I'm just going to start breaking out my Just Dance
I
and
want
just start dancing again.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
Can you Snapchat
Actually,
that?
no, I won't. No, no, I won't do that at all.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I did come out of the weekend. Sunday was luxurious, and then on Monday, I actually started to like reawaken inspiration inside of me. And kind of like what you were talking about, like I would ask myself these questions like, why am I doing certain things that I'm doing? And does it mean I'm doing these things just because this is the way everybody else does it? Can I come up with my own approach? And I like that feeling that I am independently choosing what I want. But I think that only comes from taking some time away from the main, like getting off the hamster wheel and just like, I'm done with this for a little while.
Now, this is really inspiring for me because do you think that like part of our obsession with it is, I don't know about everyone else out there or for you, but for me, when I feel inspired, I want to act on it immediately. And I don't always control when that happens. And it's like when I do my art, if I feel like painting, then that's when I get out my paintbrushes and my paints and I go for it. But it can be a little damaging too because I'm just overworking myself constantly without having a break. I don't know if I'm communicating properly because now that I'm thinking about what you're saying, it's like, but holding off on that inspiration almost only makes you more inspired for Monday. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yes.
if Sunday I'm feeling, oh, I want to go make these cookies, I have this awesome idea. I'm just about to burst with ideas. But if I tame it down and say, I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it for tomorrow, then when I wake up in the morning on Monday, I'm going to be so excited, anticipating this because
Yes.
now I've been sitting on it for a day instead of feeling like, no, I have to act on it immediately because it's
Yes.
going to leave or whatever.
It's almost like that quote that I don't remember where I read that, but it's the anticipation of the thing that actually is almost as fun as the thing itself.
Yes, yes.
So it's so easy to act instantly on something, but why not just let it simmer for a little bit? You never know. But
And
I want to stop the press for a minute here. Did
oh,
you say that you're a painter?
I do paint. I
Oh
do.
my God, yet another thing I can add on the things I love about Kara.
Oh, I'm not like an oil painter extraordinaire, but I enjoy doing certain things. Yes.
Like what? What kind of things do you paint?
I so I have a picture that I drew of my arms. So they're from my elbow down to my fingers, and then I painted it all like rainbow colored inside.
Oh,
And then I
wow.
wrote, you'll love this. Oh my gosh, Marley. I wrote all these words that describe like self love and acceptance and forgiveness and whatever. And then I painted like an all seeing eye in the left hand just because it matched I had a really powerful dream about 7 years ago with somebody praying over me. It was really strange.
Wow.
With an all seeing eye painted on their left hand. And it was a really powerful dream that I will not forget ever in my life. And so it inspired me to draw, to paint this. So, I'll dabble with more art that like means something to me than landscaping. That's not necessarily my forte.
I just think that's so cool. And I have this image of you standing in your, studio in front of a palette or whatever they call it, a blank.
I
That's so
love it.
cool.
I would love a studio because usually it's like me on my carpet with a garbage bag spread over, still getting paint on my carpet and all over
Oh,
myself. So
yes.
I like that.
I love that too. I think that's so cool. And I think anything that we can do artistically, I think just grows the artistry that we add to our blogs, don't you think?
Yeah, and absolutely, and also ourselves, right? Because
Yes.
it's like what you, me, and Kathy were talking about last week. Of you have to take care of that spiritual side of you and fill yourself up
Right.
because we are not just a food blogger. That is not our lives. It's what we do, but it doesn't fulfill who we are as human beings. And so we have to find ways to look outside of our work because our work is fun no matter what, but still it is our job and it's our work, and we need to find other ways to find fulfillment too in that. And that includes the other people in our lives too, husbands, boyfriends,
That's
girlfriends.
true. Spending time with family is good.
Yes, and to me, for me personally, this is my own view, but like the more time we can spend away from our phones and our faces, the better connection. I just really prefer that. I have a strong rule at dinner: do not bring your phone to dinner. You cannot look at your phone. We are not checking our phones. We are enjoying ourselves, even if we're sitting in silence. Dang it, we're not going to go that route. So
I love that. That's so good. No phones at the table.
no phones at the table. And it's like the boundaries you're talking about. Weekends are for fun or boredom. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just not for work.
And don't check your email. Don't check, turn
No.
your
Yeah.
notifications off on your phone and don't check Instagram. Don't check anything
Yes.
over the
Yes.
weekend.
I really support that a lot. And I'm gonna try that this week, and I'm gonna report back to you and find some ways to incorporate fun. And
Well, speaking of reporting back, you and I talked a few episodes ago about Julia Cameron and artist
oh
dates. And
yes.
I mentioned to you that I really wanted to go to a museum.
Yes.
Now, I did
Yes.
not go to a museum. However, what I did instead, I did take myself out on what I call an artist date by myself. And I went to this little shop that's in our city that I absolutely love. They buy a lot of things from like third world countries where women make the products,
Yes.
and so they support women a lot. And I love this shop. And so I bought two silver rings, and one of them has just like a series of elephants, one after the other, which I love because
Oh, I
elephants are
love that.
matriarchal.
Yes.
And then I also bought this, I don't know, I don't know, it's some kind of wristband that was made by women in Kenya. And It's a kind of a tealish color with some red parts in it, and I really, really love it. And I feel very, very artistic when I have this on. And so it's interesting because I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I'm working on a novel and I kind of has been stuck on it. And after I did this artist trip, or what do they call it? Artist date.
Artist date, yeah.
It's like I couldn't even sleep that night. The idea, everything that I was missing out, I couldn't figure out how to get past. It just opened up and it was there. And I just feel like there's something to this notion of taking a break from the regular work that we're doing and pushing so hard to do certain things and kind of letting things come to you by exploring creativity that way.
That is beautiful because what I hear in that is you have the dream of writing a novel. We have the dream of becoming successful on our blogs. We just don't know how to get there. You remember what we were talking about last week? It's not our job to figure out the how. Our job is to show up.
Right.
And you showed up by simply going on an artist date that took care of your soul. And then you found your how. And it wasn't because you were sitting there telling yourself that, come on, you piece of crap, you got to figure this out, you know?
Yes, right.
Pushing yourself hard.
Yes.
We make it so difficult on ourselves. We sit there and watch our social media and our traffic try to grow. And if it's not growing, we put ourselves down. But the weird thing is step away from it.
Yes.
Take some time off. Invest in you and what you love, and then watch the good things happen, because I guarantee you stuff will change for you. I mean, it just sounds like it worked perfectly for you. So you're just so inspiring to me. My gosh, I'm going to have an artist date, and I'm going back and buying that book by Cameron, and I'm going to go through it again.
Okay, so the book is The Artist's Way.
Artist Way. I love it.
I love that book too. And if you're like me, I had the book too and I gave it away to somebody. So
yes. Yeah.
Because I do have other versions. Like I have her book, The Vein of Gold.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that book is amazing.
I did that workshop too.
I would buy that book just for the quotes in the margins.
Oh my gosh, we need to have our own Artist Way workshop, Marly.
I love it. I think that's such a great idea. Yeah. She has that one quote that, I don't remember how it goes, but something like the angels whisper down to the blades of grass and they say, grow, grow. I love that quote. Oh, that's
her? I didn't realize that.
I don't think it was she said that, but it was in the margin.
Gotcha.
She has all these quotes, in the margins.
I love that.
Yes. And I'm currently reading the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And she actually talks about how I like her because like sometimes there's people who are on the creativity is like on the very left end of the spectrum can be super woo woo. And on the right hand can be a little too analytical for me.
Yes.
And I feel like she is right in the middle. Yeah. And she actually talks about how ideas are these things, they're entities, they are out there around us in the universe. And sometimes they'll tap on your shoulder with an idea and they'll only be there. It's your idea. You can like transcribe that idea and be a part and co-create with that idea. But if you sit on it too long, that idea wants to be manifest. And so it will go other places. And she tells a really cool story about how she was working on this novel, she didn't have time and the story left her and then she talked to a friend and that friend got the story. It was like the same story.
Oh, how weird.
I know, isn't it?
Oh, I see what you're saying. The thoughts manifest to maybe somebody else.
Right. And not to look at that negatively, but to look at that as a, not like fear-based, like, oh, if I don't do this, someone else is going to do it. But, if
I don't post about blueberries, then somebody's going to today.
Yes.
Well, they're going to.
Right. But to be a vessel, I think to make yourself the vessel that's going to be, appropriate or workable for that idea is kind of a cool thought.
I think that's great. And I think the best way to start with that is to quit, right?
The best way to get your work done is to quit.
Hopefully somebody didn't just tune in on that part. They're like, oh, well, I guess Marly and Cara say I've got to stop. So
I'm
listen
done.
To the beginning. Yeah.
No, that's our message is to quit. For the weekend.
Yeah, take a break. Enjoy the freaking sun, man.
Yes, because it's not going to be long when the winter's going to be coming or whatever. And, Today is today. Enjoy it. So that's our message.
I'm gonna quit this weekend, and I'm gonna come back to you, and I'm gonna tell you how that was.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear more about it. Even if you don't tell me next week, you can tell me the following week or whatever. We'll talk about it at some point in the future for sure.
Well, and we would love to hear from anyone else too. If you tried quitting, then let us know. Tell us on Facebook or Instagram or email, whatever it is. We'd love to hear. Maybe this is something you already do. We'd love to hear how you quit on the weekends or whatever day it is that you choose to, take some time off.
I love that. I can't wait to hear from everybody.
Yes.
Okay, Cara, I think we covered this topic of quitting. What do you think?
I quit. I'm done.
Let's quit. We're done. Okay, everybody, over and out.
All right, bye.
That wraps up another episode of FriChats. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to see the show notes page where we left links and notes about today's discussion, or if you'd like to sign up for our weekly email newsletter to get the latest on all things food blogging, head over to choppedpodcast.com today. That's it for today's show. Here's to something inspirational coming your way today.